Agnes Milowka, born on December 23, 1981, in Częstochowa, Poland, was an Australian technical cave diver, underwater photographer, and stunt diver for the film Sanctum, but she tragically died on February 27, 2011, at the age of 29, inside the tank cave system near Mount Gambier, South Australia, after running out of air while exploring a tight underwater restriction alone, leading to drowning. On Sunday afternoon, February 27, 2011, Agnes entered Tank Cave with a group of experienced divers. The cave was nearly 8 kilometers long, filled with narrow limestone passages and soft ceilings that could collapse silt into the water with a single movement. At some point during the dive, she separated from her buddy and continued toward a tight, complex section of the system. This area required extreme maneuvering, and to pass through one very low restriction, she reportedly used a technique where she removed a cylinder to squeeze forward. Inside the confined passage, visibility could drop to zero within seconds if the silt was disturbed. As she attempted to navigate back, something went wrong. In complete darkness, with fine sediment clouding the water, even the guideline can become difficult to locate if missed by inches. Her breathing rate would have increased as she tried to reorient herself. The tank cave system is described as maze-like, and she was roughly 600 meters from the entrance. Time was passing. Air supply was dropping. With no direct vertical ascent possible and no immediate rescue access in such a narrow section, she eventually exhausted her remaining gas. Evidence later suggested she remained calm and tried to free herself, but once the air was gone, there was nothing left to breathe. She drowned deep inside the cave. When she failed to surface, her dive partner alerted authorities around mid-afternoon. A search began immediately. Later that night, fellow cave divers located her body deep within the system. The recovery was extremely difficult due to the tight, silty passages, and it took several days for specialist divers to safely bring her out. Her death was ruled an accident caused by running out of air after becoming separated and disoriented in one of Australia's most complex underwater caves. Jennifer Lynn Galbraith was born in 1984, a 21-year-old college student from Utah who loved late-night adventures with friends. In the early hours of August 18, 2005, that adventurous spirit led her into a small mountain cave where she would tragically lose her life. Around 3 a.m., Jennifer and 3 friends climbed the dark slope of Y Mountain toward a hidden entrance locals called Golem's Cave. It was an abandoned underground passage that forced them to crawl through shallow water before reaching its most dangerous part, a 15-foot underwater tunnel so tight only one person could pass at a time. The opening didn't look threatening. It seemed almost like a challenge. Jennifer went first, taking a deep breath and lowering herself into the cold water, gripping a rope as she disappeared into the narrow submerged tube. One by one, her friends followed, each fully committed because once inside, there was no easy way back. On the other side, they surfaced into a cramped air pocket chamber, water up to their chests, barely a few feet of space between their heads and the ceiling. The air felt still and heavy, but they didn't realize oxygen was slowly thinning with every breath. Before dawn, they turned back. Jennifer went first again, slipping under the surface toward the same small opening. The water was now cloudy, visibility nearly gone. Inside the tight passage, there was no room to turn. Miss the exit by inches, and you hit solid rock. Seconds stretched impossibly long underwater. At some point, Jennifer didn't surface. The next friend entered, expecting clear water, but found her body blocking the passage. Panic spread instantly. The tube was barely wide enough for one person. One by one, each became trapped, all facing the exit, all just feet away from air they couldn't reach. By 6:25 a.m., worried friends called for help. Rescue teams pumped water and forced oxygen in. But when they finally entered the passage, Jennifer was found first, the others close behind, all drowned trying to escape. Only about 100 feet separated them from open air. The cave was permanently sealed with concrete, closing it forever. But the memory of that early morning remains a haunting reminder of how quickly adventure can turn deadly in a space no longer than 15 feet. On the night of August 26, 1999, Christy Quintana was climbing out of Sotano del Aire in San Luis Potosi, Mexico, after spending the day exploring the massive vertical cave with fellow cavers. She had traveled there as part of an expedition, drawn to the 764-foot open shaft known for both its beauty and unstable entrance walls. Hours after their descent, the team began ascending. Christy went first on the rope. At around 10:30 p.m., when she was roughly 130 feet below the surface, a sharp cracking sound echoed above. Within seconds, a section of limestone broke loose. Massive rocks fell straight down the shaft. Several struck her in the head and lower back. The impact shattered parts of her spine, instantly paralyzing her legs. She remained hanging in her harness, conscious but unable to move in total darkness. The caver below narrowly avoided the debris and climbed up to reach her within minutes. She told them she couldn't feel her legs. Blood began pooling in her lower body, a life-threatening condition known as suspension trauma. Shock was already setting in. The team immediately climbed to the surface to set up an emergency haul system, using only their personal gear. Loose rocks around the entrance had to be stabilized before anyone could safely pull her up. Around midnight, the rescue haul began. It was slow and exhausting. No powered system, only human strength inch by inch. Nearly 2 hours passed with Christy suspended the entire time. Close to the top, only a few meters from the edge, she stopped responding. By the time rescuers reached her position again, she was no longer breathing. A teammate hiked for nearly 2 hours through rugged terrain to reach their vehicle and call for outside help. Official rescue teams arrived late the following morning and completed the recovery operation after clearing unstable debris from the shaft. The investigation later determined that sudden rockfall at the unstable entrance caused catastrophic spinal injuries, and combined with prolonged vertical suspension, survival would have been unlikely even with immediate extraction. The incident was ruled a tragic accident caused by natural rock collapse inside Sotano del Aire. Lorena Garcia Martin, English language teacher and experienced cave diver, was born on March 12, 1987, in Spain, and tragically died on January 18, 2025, at the age of 37, in the Cueva del Agua at Isla Plana, near Cartagena, Spain, during a cave diving accident. That night, Lorena and her dive partner entered the 7 kilometers long underwater cave system, carefully planning their route through narrow, sediment-filled tunnels. The water was murky, visibility near zero, and the twisting passages made navigation disorienting. As they moved deeper, her partner realized she was missing. He called out repeatedly, but there was no response. Panic set in as he searched back and forth through the claustrophobic tunnels, stirring the silt and making the water even more opaque. Separated and struggling to maintain orientation, he made the decision to exit and surfaced at approximately 11 p.m., immediately alerting emergency services. Within minutes, the Guardia Civil Special Underwater Activities Group, GASH, firefighters, police, and paramedics arrived. Divers equipped with high-powered lights and specialized gear entered the labyrinthine cave, carefully navigating the narrow passages, low ceilings, and submerged restrictions. Every turn hid potential dangers. Tight squeezes, sharp rock formations, and swirling sediment slowed their progress. Around 1:45 am, after nearly 3 hours of tent searching, a GESH diver located Lorena's body wedged in a deep, narrow passage. She was unresponsive, trapped by the unforgiving underwater maze, the murky water pressing against her as though holding her in place. Paramedics attempted resuscitation immediately, but it was clear she had been gone for some time. Her partner could only watch helplessly as the team carefully extracted her from the dark, cold waters. The Cueva del Agua, notorious for its complexity and danger, had claimed another life, marking the 5th fatality in 35 years. Despite her extensive experience and training, Lorena's death was inevitable once she became isolated in the twisting, claustrophobic passages, a stark and heartbreaking reminder of how quickly adventure can turn to tragedy. On the afternoon of January 12, 2024, Nicole Draper, 38, of Fairlawn, Virginia, fell approximately 100 feet inside a cave in the Staffordsville community near Parisburg. She had been exploring the cave with a companion, but tragically, she was not wearing a helmet or using proper rappelling gear. At around 4:13 p.m., the companion called 911 after witnessing her fall. Emergency responders from the Giles County Sheriff's Office, Parisburg Fire Department, and the Giles Rescue Squad quickly arrived, realizing the situation required specialized assistance. The Selco Emergency Response Team and Blacksburg Rescue Squad's Technical Rescue Cave Team were called in to navigate the treacherous terrain. Rescuers carefully made their way into the cave's narrow, dark passages, only to find Autumn had already succumbed to her injuries from the fall. Her body was then extricated with extreme caution, the operation lasting late into the night, with the scene finally cleared around 1 a.m. the next day. Authorities later confirmed there were no signs of foul play, and the incident remained under investigation, though the combination of the massive fall, lack of safety equipment, and rugged cave conditions made survival nearly impossible. Autumn's sudden death left her family and community in shock. Friends remembered her as an outgoing, respectful, and adventurous woman who loved nature, hiking, and exploring the outdoors. She was also a devoted mother to her young daughter, whose care was promised by her brother Brandon Court following her passing.